I don't want my entertainment needs to be controlled by my computer components. I want my computer components to be controlled by me. Years ago, we used optical media discs, which allowed us to own any original copy of PC game we wanted to buy. Today, if you decide to revisit some of these old copies, then tough luck, kid. Your computer chassis may have a different opinion about it, similar to mine. That's why I bought new this retro Cooler Master N300 and made a film on how everything went down. Despite being labeled Cooler Master 2022, this box actually contained a product from 2012. A midnight black paint box that measures 19 by 43 by 49 centimeters and weighs about 5 kilograms. While it may not be aesthetically pleasing, it makes up for it with its retro features, like the two exposed 5 1/4 inch as well as one 3 1/2 inch drive bays ready to accommodate optical media drives, fan controllers, audio interfaces, or any other peripheral your heart desires. There are also the standard USB 3.0 and 2.0 ports, the headphone input and mic output, and the well-designed power and reset buttons. If you need one extra USB 3.0 port, the Cooler Master N300 comes in 3 different variations to cover your unreasonable USB demands. To remove the side panels, you just need to untighten 2 thumb screws on each panel at the back of the case. It can be done by hand or with a screwdriver if you don't feel manly enough to sacrifice a couple of your fingernails. The front mesh panel, with its hexagonal design, not only looks and feels good, but also allows for easy airflow while acting as a very effective dust filter. The metal corners of the case are rounded, eliminating any sharp edges and making it a safer product. Where's the fun in that, I say? On the downside, the plastic feet at the bottom could be taller to allow better airflow from the power supply unit. Along with the case, you also get a very basic manual. Definitely not the beginner-friendly guide that will help you build your first gaming rig, but still adequate to show you some very basic stuff. Additionally, you get a large assortment of screws, brass standoffs, zip ties, and everything else that is absolutely necessary for the task ahead. The only thing missing here is some spare PCI slot covers. Despite the use of low-budget lightweight materials, the overall construction of the chassis feels somewhat sturdy. Inside the case, you will find the front panel cables along with the 2 fan cables. The latter comes with the typical 3-pin connectors that offer limited voltage adjustment over the fan control speed. The 2 120mm Cooler Master Cycloflow fans, one in the front and one in the rear, will generally do the job, but I have the impression that Cooler Master could provide higher quality and quieter options. Overall, there are total 8 spots available to install fans. On the top, front, rear, and both side panels. However, it is important to note that there are no dust filters included, which will be an additional cost to the whole budget. You have the option to install a 240mm radiator on either the top or the right side of the chassis. Additionally, you can choose to install a 120mm radiator at the rear, replacing the pre-installed fan. Personally, I wouldn't recommend installing an I/O liquid cooler on the right side panel because the top side of the radiator will be positioned at a lower level than the I/O pump, which could potentially shorten the lifespan of your cooling system. Therefore, the only viable option for me is to install the I/O cooler on the top. This is an ATX mid-tower case, thus naturally has space for 7 PCI slots. It has also 7 3.5 inch as well as 1 2.5 inch bays for installing your storage devices. There are also some attached fittings for tubeless installation. Some people might consider installing an SSD drive in the bottom space of the chassis, but honestly, I wouldn't suggest it. There is just not enough room between the SSD connectors and the PC case floor. Another interesting design decision is the placement of the bottom mesh filter inside the case. This means that once you install the power supply unit, it becomes impossible to remove and clean the filter. Now, it might sound funny, but the only thing that either makes or breaks my PC building experience is the actual process of building a PC. Speak of the devil, this case can accommodate micro ATX and ATX type motherboards, which can be done by mounting these bronze M3 standoffs and upon them mounting the motherboard into the chassis. A pretty straightforward procedure that shouldn't pose any problem, unless you have a modern motherboard that has the input-output shield integrated into the plastic VRM cover, similar to my motherboard. In this case, you will need to apply a significant amount of pressure in order to align the motherboard's holes with the standoffs. Let me tell you that this is not for the faint-hearted, since even the slightest bend of your motherboard may lead to electrical shorts or damaged components. The ample space at the bottom of the chassis, it is more than enough to install any standard ATX size power supply unit you can think of. You may also enjoy the process of sliding the hard disk drives into their slots and locking them securely with a simple click using the available toolless fittings. I couldn't say the same about installing the SATA cables. The reason for that is because the chassis limited space between the SATA headers and the motherboard's SATA ports. Moreover, the manufacturer didn't plan ahead to leave a passage in the case top for routing the CPU power cable. Once someone said, an evil thing, yet more evil. Mounting a 240mm radiator on the top of the PC case should be a standard procedure unless, you guess it, your motherboard's VRM cover is blocking the radiator from aligning with the chassis mounting holes. It is clear as day that the Cooler Master N300 is not compatible with modern motherboards unless they adhere to the old AT design formula, which did not include plastic covers on VRM heatsinks and integrate input-output shields stacked upon backboards. Installing this Thermalright CPU cooler or any CPU air cooler that is shorter than 16.4 cm will not pose any more challenges. The same goes to mounting any graphics card that is no longer than 32 cm. Pardon for my French, ladies. As for the cable management, there are plenty of empty spaces to neatly tuck away all the bothersome clusters of cables. So, is it worth buying a Cooler Master N300 PC case in 2024? If Cooler Master were to redesign the product to be more compatible with modern motherboards and AI or liquid coolers, as well as paying attention to some minor details, then I see no reason why this PC case wouldn't be a must-buy for all the retro PC lovers out there, provided that it should not cost more than $50 to $50. On the other hand, if you prefer modern, spectacular PC cases and don't want to spend a fortune on them, then you may want to watch this video.